For today, the question number 1 is in our today's class, an agile development team changes a design element in a project. Testing results improve dramatically over the next two iterations. At the third iteration retrospect, the product owner is unhappy to learn about the change to the original design and asks the team to redo the work based on the original design. How can the project manager prevent such situations? What do you think is the right answer? Set out all, and I have taught you that this type of answer can never be the right answer. Request additional funding, and I have also taught you that first action will never be the right answer. You cannot take actions without analyzing. I don't care whatever is written. How can you take actions without any analysis? Now remaining A1 is gone, 2 is gone, remaining C and D. Ensures regular engagement with the product owner and run catch-up meetings if necessary. Or as servant leader, help the team to focus by removing all impediments. D is the task of team or D is the task of project manager? D is the task of team or D is the task of project manager? What is it? Yes, Mr. Hafiz, what do you think? D is the task of team or is the task of team leader?
Team leader, sir.
Team leader. So D cannot be the answer in that context, right? So ultimately we have reached to an answer. I don't know what is this. Let's reach it. Ensure regular. Prevent is always go with prevent word always go with ensure. Because to take any actions, you want to ensure that your actions are correct. So I hope explanation has worked for you guys to select an answer. Did it? If yes, let's go to the next question. The agile team sometimes has idle periods while awaiting a product director to inform the product owner on new goals. The decision depends on analysis of market research. Which measures could reconcile the needs of the director and the agile team? What you guys think is the correct answer? Plan team training events to coincide with the anticipated idle periods, or run market research spikes to update the director after clearing the backlog. Eliminate slack. Slack is what? Float, right? By reducing the team size to smooth the output. This is what direct action. And I have taught you what? Direct action will never be the answer.
Right answer.
So it can never be the right answer. Run team brainstorming sessions on new goal to suggest to the director. My task as a team is to work. Strategic objectives should be done by the directors. Why should I do the things? So they are the business experts, they do the things. So this is again wrong answers. Now remaining A and B. What do you think? The needs of the directors. On the chat window, you have to answer, please. And the agile team. How you can reconcile the needs of the directors and the agile team. This option is related to training. This is our question, right? Is it related to training?
No.
No.
When it's not related to training, it means A cannot be the answer. So remaining is B. What is the spike? Anyone remember from our class? What is the purpose of spikes? Khadim, we discussed yesterday. What is a spike? Architecture-based spikes, risk-based spikes. Mr. Mohsen, Mr. Hafiz, Mr. Nazish. Spikes in Agile. Why we do that?
Is it to know about the abrupt changes in the market?
It's to know actually about how much risk is involved or to reduce the uncertainty. We do the spikes. The spikes are like iterations. In that time of iteration, we check that whatever we are doing, is it feasible or not? Okay, so let's go to next. I hope the answer is easily understood. Let's go to next question. The IT department of a glassware manufacturer enthusiastically approved the Agile team mid-project demo of quality checking software for assembly line workers. However, the final product was considered unusable because the workers' gloves are too thick to press the machinery's small buttons. Worker gloves, obstacles, impediments, blockers, right? You guys got the point? When you read the question, you can easily find what they are trying to ask. So how to avoid these type of failures from the project? I will not answer it. Let all the answer comes on the chat board, then I will try to answer it. Mr. Khadim, yes, you are correct. What about others? Miss Vinjan, yes, great, correct. Thank you. What about others? Half is yes, good. Few more remaining, please. Give it a try. Yes, Nazir is great. So look, the problem is not for the software, so B cannot be the answer. Create a realistic simulation of end user conditions for developers testing the software. This could be the answer, but I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Contract directly with the customer's department that defines the product requirement. I will never contact directly. It has to go through via product owner. Plan for end users to test prototypes and incremental releases in their production environment. So if I need to choose between A, C, and D, D is the very refined version of C as well as A. The majority of you have already answered D, so yes, D is the correct answer, which means we will have what? Wireframe, right? And we could have high fidelity wireframes because we can improve the size and we can release it incrementally. So that is what our correct answer, which is D. Great, good one. Let's go next. A project manager observes that team members are in low mood after demos. Feedback from a stakeholder is constantly causing concerns for the team. As a result, the team rushes through product demos and the interaction between the team and stakeholder is minimal. Which action should the project manager take? Action should project manager take? Meet with the stakeholders and find out the root cause of their feedback. And I believe it has already been done. This is the solution. So this cannot be the right answer. Verify that project requirements are suitable and that the team members can do the work. This is the task of team or team lead. Project requirements verification is the task of team or team lead. Team lead, right? No, not team lead, team. Yes, team. Team is
Okay,
working there.
team.
So B cannot be the answer.
Yes, team.
Coach the team to be more confident in their work and communicate properly with the stakeholder. That seems to be the right answer. Let's go D. Consult the stakeholder matrix and identify whether any of these people are known to be difficult. It's not your problem. The question is not saying anything about difficult. So it can be the answer. So remaining answer is C. In this whole situation, I have shown you how to eliminate the wrong answers one by reading it. And I think I have done it as a favor. Now I should not do it on the next. Read the question by yourself and answer it by yourself, please. So I have got two answers. They were not all fully correct. Some answers were correct. Uh, yes, Nazish, your answers are correct. What about others? Let's try to solve it. I've got three answers and let's just start reading it. Still no this. Okay. The project sponsor is not convinced. So last one is not correct. The sponsor is not convinced that an agile track should be used in a new R&D project, because the company needs to be certain that specific features will be ready for mass production by a specific date. Which three agile methods can ensure that sponsor needs can be fulfilled in a hybrid project? A product roadmap can provide a detailed breakdown. When we say agile, do we have detail? If you answer this question, you will always find the right answer. In agile, we have details. Yes, Ms. Fatih, correct. So it is in the contrasting information. So A cannot be the answer. So out of 5, 1 is gone. Remaining 4. Let's read it. And I think I can see from here. E is okay, or it's the inverse of what it has to be correct. Is the correct statement, or it's the inverse of the correct statement? Opposite of it. Epics are decomposed into user stories, or user stories are decomposed into epics? So I think this is wrong. And I don't know the other 3 answers. So for sure, the remaining 3 answers will be correct. But let's read it. Requirement priorities are confirmed at each iterations. So we can reduce the risk. Incremental development reduces the risk. Impact mapping can be used to group related stories. So in any case, we have already eliminated the wrong answers, and we have managed to reach to the correct answers. I hope it works. Let's go another. Okay. A project has a quality management plan in place. This plan states that the project deliverable must be reviewed for quality at least 5 business days before the deadline. 4 deliverables have failed the quality requirement. What should the project manager do? Just take your answer on the chat window, then I'll explain it. Yes, Mr. Khalid, correct. No, miss. Why you're going outside? It's your internal problem. He didn't fail you. You failed by yourself. Miss, now you are just jumping here and there. Look again. Hafiz, yes. Nazish, yes, good. Look, uh, I will not go outside. This is my problem. Yes, miss, now correct. It's not his problem. It's your problem. So why you are going to sponsor? Go on. Feasibility is the task of project manager or functional manager. What I said, we will never take actions directly. It's not my point to write it. Quality management plan should be done by the relevant people. Why should I write it? Something has failed, so we should perform the root cause analysis why it is failed, so you can provide a response. And yes, all of you were correct. A is the Right answer. Great. Perfect. I will not read the question. You will read it. Then I will read it. Mr. Khadim, yes. Mr. Hafiz, yes. Good. What about others? Miss No? Motion, yes. Good. Nazish, no. Nazish, this word, which it has a start, it's not a good word in the official or corporate culture. This word can never be the good word. Miss, yes, your answer is correct now. Yes, Nazish. That's what you got it right. Let's read the question and try to find out the answers. The sales and marketing director at company A reports a 40% drop in revenue and significant increase in returns for widget version 6. Customers are complaining directly to customer service and the social media teams reports a high rate of negative feedback. The team is already working on version 6.1, which is the smallest set of upgrades and bug fixes. The director gets in touch with the team requesting a full disclosure of the version 6.0 and 6.1 requirement. How should the project manager interact with this stakeholder? With this stakeholder. Remind them. Remind in any, it's not a polite word. In any culture, it cannot be appreciated. So I don't know what is written. I will not take this answer as correct answer. But just in case if you want to remove any confusions, let's remind them that they were consulted about the agreed product requirements and 6.1. Also remind the stakeholders that the responsible and accountable stakeholders approved version 6 before release. This is like you are going with a very bad approach. It will destroy your image as well as your skills also. Now, if we go to D, ask the team to perform the final demo for version 6 again for the director's information. Director is saying disclose 6 and 6.1, and you are telling 6.0 to the to the team. Gone. Let them know that you are also disappointed. We are not making an emotional movie here that I am disappointed. I don't know whatever is written. I don't want to read it. If I'm real, I will never read those things in the exam. Now, remaining answer is B, but let's read it. Review the customer. Review is the better word always. Customer and market research, both qualitative and quantitative, that supported the business case. Whenever we want to know anything, we need to look at the business case of that project so we can understand the strategic objectives and then discuss the stakeholder roles in the research. So yeah, B seems to be a very civilized, a polite and conceptual answers as comparison to A, C, and D. And all of you have already answered B as a correct answer. So yes, so good. Very nice. I hope the concept is clear. Yes or no? Okay. A contractor has sent an email request for urgent payment of their last invoice. How should the project manager respond to this contractor request? Contractor is requesting a payment of last invoice. You will negotiate now? In bad management, yes. In good management, you will negotiate. Customer is saying, give the contractor is saying, release my payment. You will negotiate with him? Never. So A is gone. Who are you to do this? You are authorized to do anything? Are you as a project manager to authorize take actions, even financial actions? You cannot take actions. You can only recommend actions or provide your opinions. Actions will be taken by the responsible person. B is gone. And as I said, if you find two similar words, they can never be the right answer. If you have two words same, then they cannot be the functional manager. Hafiz, act according to the agreed upon commitment in the procurement management plan, and as per the contract, release the payment. What you have to negotiate now, why you have to authorize now? Follow the contract. That's what we do. At the time of procurement, we follow the contract. We are not going to restart everything from the beginning. Yes, Hafiz. You can speak.
Yes, sir. As we have learned that according to PMP exam pattern, we will also always consider that it is a matrix of organization, right? So
Yes.
in matrix of organization, project manager have more power than functional manager, right?
I'm not saying he has power or not. I'm saying he always have power, even if he's coordinator, but he will never take direct actions.
But sir, in any case, functional manager have lesser power than PM, sir, right?
Yeah, lesser power is there, but he will just write his comment. Action will be taken by the relevant person. Project manager will not. If you will go for everything by yourself, can you control the project?
I have signed the charter, sir.
You
Right?
did
I
not
will
sign the.
control everything.
You did not sign the charter. Charter was given to you with your name. You didn't sign that. Charter is signed by the sponsor.
So responsible person ultimate that would be sponsors
For what?
for like what we are discussing now. Who will be responsible here, sir? For example, I'm just saying
Wait.
this is my
Let me
concept.
fix it in the concept. Normally in organizations, who pays for the invoices?
Procurement.
So why you should authorize the payment?
Okay, sir. Right. Got it, sir.
Got
Thank you.
it?
Got it. I will only recommend, sir. Right.
Yeah, I will just
Okay.
recommend that. What I will recommend in my thing, if you remember in our last class lectures, always on the day 5, I always say that if someone is claiming some money, or if I'm going to close the project, I have to perform administrative closure. And administrative closure means you will
Mhm.
go through all the documents. If any invoice is opened, you cannot close the procurement or project. And if this invoice is legitimate, you will ask the people to pay it. If it is not legitimate, you will close the project or procurement and send them to claims department,
Noted, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
right? Perfect. Let's go next. A key stakeholder voices a concern. Key stakeholders voices a concern during the planning stage about whether the available resources are adequate to meet the objectives of the project. After further discussions and the number of resources identified, the PM is hesitant about the original plan. Which steps should the PM take next? We have to find two correct answers. Find it and we'll discuss it. If you look around, the problem here is what? Resources, right? Available resources. And whatever you have now, you feel that you don't have enough or required resources. So what you will do now? In this situation, uh, review the bounds of negotiations for the stakeholder engagement. It has nothing to do what we are looking for. Review the bounds. Determine the project's ultimate objectives after carefully evaluating project priorities. Is there any word used in the question about priorities? No. This cannot be the right answer. A and B are gone. Remaining three, C, D, and E. Engage in negotiations for more resources. Yes, because you are hesitant. Seems to be the better answer. Ensure that the impact of shortage of required resources is fully documented as a risk. And reevaluate the project objectives, review the planned activities, and recalculate the resources needs. So from C was correct. From D and E, we have to select an answer. If you look, this is already being discussed. It means it has already happened. This action was already taken. So why you will do the same thing again? So remaining is E. So yes, D and E were the correct answers. Sorry, C and E were the correct answers. All agreed? C is wrong because look, things were good till here, but this was already done. So that's on these reasons I am not selecting this answer. Well, let's go next. Already majority of you answered correct. A customer is not satisfied. It was not what they expect. PM is surprised because Agile team delivered the product several iterations early. What is one way that project manager could have avoided this results? Required team sign up for each of the changes to the requirements. Team sign up the requirement or product owner? Who sign up the requirement, team or product owner? Product owner. So thank you. We will not take you on our board. Set aside more resources for product testing after making changes. Set aside, which means you are trying to do something which is additional. Ensure that the customer was aware of the value of demos and the approval process for the deliverable. Seems to be the better answer. Let's go next. Ensure that the development team fully participated in the iteration review by explaining and answering the questions. C and D are quite close. And the concept here is what? Why you guys are saying C is the correct answer, D is not the correct answer? What is the reason behind? We have discussed A and B are gone from the league, remaining C and D. Why you're not selecting D? Why you are selecting C? Look, D is correct. The only thing D is missing is what? Sign off. Yes. B is missing sign off. There's nothing wrong in D. Just when you compare C and D, D is missing sign off. Great. So you guys have the ability now to solve this type of questions. Read it and answer it, then I will read it for you. I think your answer is correct. Anyway, half is no. Miss, yes, good. Okay. Nazar shares good. Oh, all your answers are correct. Amazing. I don't know what it was. Let me read it. PMA identifies three critical risks with probability of high impact on the schedule and budget of project A. This project is producing critical deliverables. Team needs to devise a solution for the risk and decide that there are three specific resources will be required to address the risk. However, they are already committed from project manager B. Which party should the project manager work with first to find a solution? For sure, team B, I think yes, all of you are correct. But let's look at it. The project team members to assist in training the new things so they can complete the work on time. We are discussing about schedule and budget. So if you will, they are already like what they are trying to say. CPI is less than 1 as well as SPI also less than 1, isn't it? If CPI is less than 1, which means you are over budget, and SPI is less than 1 means you are behind schedule. So providing that training, your budget is already overloaded. It will further decrease the CPI. So A is not a solution. Why you are going to project sponsor? It's not your problem. Why you should go to project sponsor? You already have contingency reserves. Play with it. The three resources to convince them to join the team. Why you have to talk to them? Isn't it better go to and talk to their manager? And that's what the D is saying. That's why you all of you are correct. They talk to their manager and negotiate with them instead of going with the team. So yes, in this condition, D was the correct answer. Yes, Mr. Khadim, go ahead. Khadim, can you type your answer on the chat window, please? Because I think the mic is still have problem. Give it a try on mic. If not, then you have to speak on it. Yes, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Sir, am I clear?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Since this question is a very realistic one, what if the B option D is not there in a real project? So what could have been the best next option? PMO.
And we discuss in I think on our day 4 we call it pre-assignment. Remember, I gave you pre-assignment, soft booking or hard booking. We can do that also.
Exactly. Thank you.
Perfect. And I think let's keep it as a now. This one as a last question for today, or maybe one more I have. Okay. You read it and answer it, and I will read it for you. Hafiz, I'm not going. I told you, I will not finish before 9 o'clock. Commitment is commitment. Yes, Khadim, one answer is correct, not both. Khadim, now one answer is still wrong. Thomas, one answer is wrong. Nazish, yes, good. Yes, Mr. Thomas. Yes, Ms. Winter. But I think no, this is not even the right answer. Let's go and read it. Don't worry. A PM is preparing the charter. Project aims to automate 30% of the product testing. Sponsor advises the PM to assign a senior test engineer so test can be automated in a good way. Test department manager is not cooperative because he believes that if it will be automated, they will downsize that department. So if someone is affected, we have to discuss with the affected stakeholders. This is our approach always in the project management. So have a meeting with the test department managers to discuss mutual expectations. Yes, this is always a correct answer. That the affected person should be discussed. We are not going out. It's our internal thing. Why we should go to outside? Present data-driven cost-benefit evidence of test automation to the test department. C seems to be the better answer, but let me read D. Raise the risk. Work with the sponsor. Again, sponsor cannot be the answer. So yes, A and C are the correct answers. Great. I hope it worked. If no confusions, And yeah, that was the last answer question, because with this one we did it in the last class. Can explain why E can't be correct. Why E can't be correct? You are going to sponsor. If your organization is creating problem for you and it is beyond that level, then you may go to the sponsor. But a resource related problems, it means like discussing your household matters in someone else's home. It's not the right way. It's not a good approach. It's your problem, handle it by yourself. Why to involve and engage from outside? Great. Let's keep it here. Thank you very much. It was a good session again. So I'll see you on next Saturday.